This is FSD Beta 11.4.4. So I do poke around some of the more local subreddits on Reddit from time to time, and I saw a fun one popped up for Lakeland, Florida, which was someone asking about if anybody drove a Tesla and had any experience with FSD. Which I thought was interesting because I'm right up the road from Lakeland. So I started talking to the person, and I figured, you know, I'm close enough, I will take a moment and record some footage of FSD Beta driving around Lakeland. So, what I'll also do at the same time is I'll try and explain what's going on the screen, some of the thought processes of the computer, if I can discern some of it. And yeah, the person also asked about a specific route, which was taking Pipkin Rd to Lake Miriam, which looks to be under construction. So we'll see how that goes. As usual, just run the speed at double playback speed or whatever, and I'll bookmark the interesting bits, if any, below. I'm going to approach this video a little bit differently than some of the other ones I've done, in that I'm going to try and explain more thoroughly what's going on, versus assuming that the person watching knows what's going on, if there's anything noteworthy going on down here. So FSD Beta is currently a level 2 autonomous driving assist system, or ADAS. And the idea there is that you should be keeping your hands on the wheel at all time. It's not shown in the video because of how I frame the video, but I do keep my hand at the 9 o'clock position on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, right? So the equivalent of here, but on the other side. So when we look at this screen, we can see this blue bar and this blue steering wheel. Both indicate that FSD Beta is engaged and driving. This blue line is I believe what's called the ego line, which is showing what the car is intending on doing. So if you're ever sitting there going, what's the car doing, you just keep an eye on this line. Here we have destination, where the car is going to be turning next, what the current max speed is set for, which I keep mine at 14%, and then what the car has either seen the speed limit sign to be for the road, or what the map data has for the speed limit sign. It's a blend, because sometimes when you get on the road, you don't know what the speed limit is until you pass the sign, and then once you pass the sign, the system will adjust as needed. You can increase or decrease the speed as you see fit, using the right scroll wheel. And then over here we have what the destination is set for, which at the moment I have a few different destinations set, and I'll just delete the destinations as we get closer. So chevrons pointing back towards the car indicates that it's stopping. Black line indicates where it plans to stop, and then stop signs are the stop signs that it can see. Again, black line shows where the car plans to stop, and then once the line goes dark blue, it's committing. exit disengagement. Tried to take that too wide. Disengaged because car did not go straight. It tried to give too much room going across the intersection. So this is an unmarked road, which does present problems from time to time. And the car prefers to like stop for the oncoming traffic on an unmarked road. The blurb that popped up down here is when you do have to disengage, you're given an opportunity to explain why, and then you can record a brief audio snippet on why you disengaged. Does try to slow down for speed bumps on your behalf. This is obviously not the best road to do an example of, but it's the one we've chosen for this one, or the one the system chose. That is not what I wanted you to do. Alright, I will manually take control and force it down Pippin. So manually disengaging. Re-engaging. It does also attempt to try and illustrate construction cones if there are any. The car does have a tendency to camp in the left lane. I can manually have it change lanes, but I'm just going to let it chill here. No harm, no foul in my book. For the most part, as long as the road is marked, you don't have too many issues. When it's unmarked is when you start to run into problems, or when it's crazy narrow. can see there are 2 cameras in the fender that you can use to see out the back of the car, in addition to the rear view camera. And the fender cameras at least give you an idea as to what kind of room you have on each side of the car. Looks like I might have to use this as a road geometry change thing down the road. I will have to revisit here. Unfortunately, it doesn't really move out of the way for debris in the road unless it's significant debris. So that presumed rag in the road, it just ran over. But we can see here, they added pavement, the road was shifted over, the car is staying with the shift. And that's largely because the road is marked, so it has a general idea as to what's going on. I imagine at some point they'll shift everything over to the other side of the road and rebuild this side, and we'll see what's going on then. So here it's being super cautious with the cones. And then I guess Pipkin Rd is closed about here, and it's, because Google is aware of the road closure, it should route us around it. Because this navigation data is a blend of what Google sees and what Tesla has. So here we see the light turned red, car stops at the black line. And we can also see the lights are blue and the lights are red. The blue lighting indicates that the car is paying attention to it. And that person, I'm hitting the accelerator, that person confused the car because they came out too far. And the car was trying to yield because the car's main goal is keep the driver safe, even at the risk of other drivers being bad. That boop boop is a pay attention to the road. I did turn my head for half a second, and it tends to, when there's cones on the road, it tends to expect you to have your eyes forward at all times. There's a camera up here where the rearview mirror is that watches you while you drive to make sure your eyes are on the road. And if we zoom in a little, let me zoom in. Yes. This gray amorphous blob is what is known as the, oh wow, now it's coming to blank. The occupancy network. That's what it is. Holy cow. It's the occupancy network. So the car sees that there's a blob there, which we can see as a cone. Cone. So each one of these orange blobs, it represents a cone, which you can see, or it's a construction barrel, which you can see with the cones there. And that's the occupancy network at play. It's a hell of a brain fart to have. We can see even with the weird markings on the road, the car is still able to suss out where it's trying to go. The car knows it needs to turn here. And again, it knows about this detour not because it can read the signs saying that there is a detour, but because on Google, if you plot a course, this is a blend of Google and Tesla's data. So Google is saying you have to go this way, and then Tesla applies their own layer of, okay, since you have to go this way, here's what we're aware of for the route that you're taking now. But if Google didn't have that road marked as under construction, it would expect you to go forward and you'd run into issues. That blue that came across the top is because it did not sense my hand on the steering wheel, and it was basically reminding me to apply a little bit of pressure to the steering wheel. And I don't see a stop sign, and that's not the best time to go, as it did technically cut that truck off, although they were slowing down to turn. So not the best, but again, that is an example of why this is technically a beta. It's not complete and not perfect. And under normal circumstances, a person might want to disengage and take control and yield to the other vehicle. But timing-wise, it all worked out. So it does gently apply the brakes when you come up on blinking yellows while it tries to figure out whether it's a blinking yellow or a light that's getting ready to turn red. It's also very deliberate in following the lines. I clearly have enough room to go, but is trying to be cautious about it. So I'm going to apply the accelerator to scoot it forward, and there it goes. And that's just where the system is today. Again, as the system evolves, those kind of things will go away. So after I take the turn, I will remove this waypoint. And these are the other waypoints. I'm not going to remove the waypoint now because I think if I did, it would want us to go straight, and I'm no longer in the optimum lane for that, and I don't want to deal with the car freaking out about that. Normally you don't have something like this when you're doing a regular point-to-point drive. So those concerns about making sure the car doesn't do something stupid kind of go out the window at that point. and sometimes it does not so human things. Like, I don't know that I would get in this turn lane right away, because anybody turning out of these businesses might get confused on what my intentions are. should see it get into the right lane. We can see it wants to. Again, I don't know that I would change lanes that early, because you could confuse someone trying to come out of that road. Green turn signal. Whoa. A little bit of unexpected braking. There's also some very mechanical things about how FSD Beta works, and we'll probably see one of those things here in a minute, where when you're a certain distance away is when it starts to try and do maneuvers. Like, I need to make a left turn in 1.5 miles, and it'll typically try and do that at the 0.7, 0.6 mile mark. I think this lane ends, so it may actually do that a little bit sooner. I can't remember. Right, like as a human, I would have already gone ahead and changed lanes, because it's just, you know, I need to be in that lane anyways. And that ding is the system saying, hey, I want to change lanes. That's a, you know, you turn that on where it dings when it changes lanes. But right now it's basically saying, hey, I need to change lanes. There it is. Now, as a human, would I do this? No, I would scoot ahead and move on and all that stuff. But, you know, it's beta, they're working on it. Don't, you know, that sort of thing. So this car is blue because it knows it's its turn to go. And when it's out of the way, it'll go. Because now it knows it's my turn to go. That is not what I want you to do, so I'm going to give it a minute. Get further along on the road. S-curve ahead that I wanted to take, which is why I was routing it this way. Come on, buddy. Well, you really want me to turn around. There we go. And the only reason I'm doing this is because there's this S-curve up here. It didn't used to do this. I haven't done this one since FSD Beta 10 dot something. It used to just run over the line, and now this is doing it beautifully. Huh? Should be a left at the light. Oh, wow. See, now we're getting all screwed up. It doesn't actually need to change lanes or do any of that. It'll should calm down once the... Nope. Yep, there it goes. So, not perfect, but it figures it out. Now, I want to say that's mainly because the road back there, the left or the right turn only arrows aren't marked very well, so it may have gotten confused by that. But as a whole, you know, it did what it was supposed to do. Could it have been better? Obviously. But that's why it's level 2. You're expected to take control and carry on. I'm not on this drive because I want to show you know, the dirty. signal on here? No. Is there a stop sign here? No. I'm pushing the accelerator to get it to go because there is a car behind me. So again, not perfect. But every release it gets better. But it is picking up on road markings. It can see this is a right turn lane. It can see this is a bike lane. It's trying to illustrate the features of the intersection properly with the crosswalks, things of that nature. And it does see the traffic lights, so if they change to green, we should be able to get going. This one does work, right? Okay, so this one, I guess, is too far for it to see properly or something. So I did have to use the accelerator to make it go on that one. Not sure why. But again, ding and change lanes. I see there's something in the middle of the road here between these two lanes. Looks like cardboard. You know, I would like to think that was the car going around debris in the road, but I know it wasn't. I know that was all basically just a fluke. Had to have been a fluke. That's gonna bug me for a while now. So this is one of the issues you can run into. We're 4 miles from where it actually needs to worry about changing lanes, but it already wants to be in the left lane. sometimes it will change lanes in the middle of the intersection. Like here it wants to. It's highlighting the cars that it wants to get between. And once it crosses the intersection, it's going to try and move over. After this car, it's going to probably change lanes. And it highlights blue where it's trying to go. Again, why it tries to do it so soon, only Tesla knows. Maybe it was trying to stay out of the rightmost lane again. Unnecessary braking, unnecessary lane change. There was no merge that I'm aware of. But I mean, at the end of the day, so far, we're one intentional and one unintentional. No. Yes, one unintentional disengagement and one intentional disengagement, right? I disengaged it at the narrow unmarked roads, and I disengaged it again to force it to go down Pipkin. Oh, that guy's got issues with his passenger side chrome. Holy cow. Not sure how well it's seen in the video, but like here, his chrome's all warped. tried to take left too early. So that is a bug in this version, where there are times where it wants to get into the incorrect left turn lane. Or, well, the incorrect turn lane in general. Doesn't really matter if it's left or right. I've had that happen to me on the crosstown connector, going from I-4 to the Selman Expressway. It tries to take a right on the crosstown at like 60 miles an hour, which is very jarring. So this turn lane, it should be, no, not this one. Is it this one? Are you gonna miss your turn? No, okay. This one. That was a bit wide. I don't want it to actually go to the Texas Cattle Company. I want it to loop around. So, I mean, honestly, I could probably, we're going to say, edit trip, we'll let it take the turn, and then we'll immediately remove. So that truck is big and concerning to the car. He also pulled way out of his stop line. There we go. Do that. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my eyes were not on the road. There's a balloon in the road. What I'm trying to get it to do is I want it to do this roundabout, because why not? Whoop, whoop, okay, it is a right on red. So this here that showed up for a minute is a creep limit, and it shows how far the car is going to scoot forward before it actually waits for an opportunity to turn. Which it could have done so now, but its view is limited, and it could do it now. Now, there we go. So right on red, not perfect, but it does it. I will say this traffic light coming up is one that concerns me a little, and if I wasn't turning right here I would let it play out. But when you're in the left lane you can actually see the light for traffic going right, and if the light's red I kind of wonder if the car would slam on the brakes for what it perceives as a red light or not. There's a policeman. I'm not driving the car. So again, the goal is to go through the roundabout, and then once I get onto this road, I'll edit the route again. Roundabouts are known to be problematic. So if this doesn't work, you know, no harm, no foul. Well, I mean, some harm, some foul, but not like the end of the world. The point is to show problems. Or no problems. Let's find out. So it'll probably treat this yield as a stop sign. Whoa, it slid a little bit on the Belgian blocks of the crosswalk. And we're circling. And we're taking that exit. And away we go. So my only complaint on that is it did brake hard for the yield sign, and the Belgian blocks in the rain did make the car slip a little bit. But there was no traffic around me, so it wasn't that big a deal. Ass looking house. I'm a self-driving car. I don't know how to read that sign. Now, yes, it's encroaching on the bike lane a little bit. If there was actually a cyclist there, it would give them tons of room. And this guy is tailgating me something fierce. This is a wide angle lens, so you can't see how bad they're tailgating, but they're on my booty pretty bad. Left lane. It'll probably go boop boop when I mess with this because of the cones. Holy cow, this road is bumpy. So, and again, this is an unmarked road. It's trying to go around the puddle, but it is an unmarked road, and it tends to try and stay in the middle of an unmarked road. And, you know, obviously this guy's probably freaking out a little bit. That's been a common complaint for folks who use the FSD Beta software at the moment is unmarked roads, it tends to ride towards the middle until there's a car coming, and then it goes, oh my gosh, there's a car coming, and then it slams on the brakes and waits for them to pass. But there once was a time where it did not even, you know, make a right turn to save its life, or left turn, or any of that stuff, so they'll get it. So again, here's a creep wall. We're going to creep forward to the limit. We're going to check and make sure that we can turn left, which we cannot. There are 3 cars. And we should go after this black one. Here we go. Oh, that is the lane you want to be in. You just got a little confused. That's okay, I got confused too. It's a really long turn lane. That guy sounds like a lawnmower. So I don't actually want to go to the Chick-fil-A. What I want to do is this 90-degree turn, just because. I like this green light. It stays green long enough. Alright, and we don't need to stop, just go. Whoop, there we go. Beautiful. Again, it rides the left lane. The guy behind me clearly does not want me to be in the left lane, so I will kindly change lanes because he's being uppity about it. So this is a manual right lane change. Because, heaven forbid, people chill out on the roads. And again, you know, do I need to be in the left lane? Nope, but it loves it. Hopefully. And I'm fairly positive one of the main reasons it stays in the left lane is because a lot of traffic enters the road from, well, okay, no, you know what, that lane ends. So I could see it not wanting to stay in the right lane for that. Part of the issue with me doing these things is I've never been on these roads before. Well, some of these roads I've never been on before. So he got so far, he made it to the next light. I'm so glad I got out of his way for him. Scooted in front of the other guy a little bit. That was uncomfortable. Did that guy even stop? So the car does do a full 3-second stop. The National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration, the NHTSA, basically said, no, it needs to stop like a proper legal stop, not a California roll or whatever you want to call it. So if you see a Tesla stop at a stop sign for at least 3 seconds, they're probably on FSD Beta. So this, I'm going to... right of way, go. And I hit the accelerator to go because it knows it's in the wrong. Yep, okay, that's what we want. So this road is narrow, and it's going to freak out as the cars approach us. And I'll bring the cameras up so we can keep an eye on distance to edge of road and center line. The car tries to keep about a foot of room, a foot of space on the right side of the car, and it makes the driving a little bit erratic as a result. You can't go around him. Started to scoot into the middle of the lane, causing problems for oncoming traffic. Alright, so we can see there's too much room on this side, and it bobbing me back and forth like a drunken idiot. Bad car. I'm going to touch and hold so that we can see what the oncoming traffic looks like, which I guess by the time I turn there will not be any. But so there is a chain link fence to my left, and it's probably going to chill out here until it can see better. Now I have no visibility. Oh, that guy's turning. Go. Now I'm hitting the accelerator because it choked. The other car was turning, so that's why I wasn't concerned about it, but the car misjudged its speed or something, so it choked. This truck is just, holy cow, dude, get off my bumper. So this 90-degree turn is about as blind as you can get, and it needs to maintain the lane or run the risk of being smacked. There we go. So I'm going to call it. We had 4 disengagements, right? There was the one on the unmarked roads. At the very beginning, I did an intentional disengagement to force it on the Pipkin. I did. What was the other one? I avoided the left turn lane because it tried to turn left too soon, and then there was a stop sign on the narrow roads where it tried to like put itself in the middle of the road a little bit. Several interventions. I'll mark those out as best I can, but otherwise that is FSD Beta in Lakeland. For the most part it works fine, but obviously still some issues to work out. But I have no idea, no doubt that they will get there, because I used to have to intervene a lot more than that. So that's all. Thanks for watching.